Hey, welcome back to another video. Actually, before I get in recording here, I should have got my my Wi-Fi thing already set up. I gotta grab it. Take that out for the moment. Put that there. Well, let's see here. This is one of my little Wi-Fi dealies I've been trying to tinker with to see about how it works for picking up in different areas. It's doing pretty dang good. Excuse me. I'm debating. I guess I'll just stick this up in the window for now. Bend that down a little. Try that and see it right there and see how that does. Ugh. All right. I'm gonna get my tablet. See if we can make this thing link to anything. I should be doing this while I'm not recording. Oh, today I got some editing done. Out in Holiday because it got kind of hot today. It's got up to like 88, 89 degrees. Minnesota's weird. You can go from really cold to warm. Didn't bother me so much when I was younger. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize the differences and stuff, or something that affects me more. So, oh. But yeah, I got some editing done. I got a lot more to do yet. I really got to get to the library to upload because, oh dang it. I got a few more to edit, and I'm going to have like 50 videos to upload. And I've been trying to... Well, I've been making videos. I know that gets me way ahead of what live time is. But I'm trying to get it to where I got, in case I'm blessed to get work or guess we'll try that one and see what happens. So if it gets me ahead of ways, that way if I get working, it gives me more time to figure out how to keep doing justice to this channel and do it, and so I don't end up slacking it off and not doing nothing for it or something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging everything. Yeah. I feel a little bit frustrated because really thought things would be better by now. I mean, I can't complain. The Lord's been providing, but I don't want to survive. I want to be abundant. Oops. I got all daydreaming and not thinking about stuff. There we go. Now that we're connected to an internet, let's see if we got what we got for speed or something. Not too fast, but it's about three megabytes a second download. I think that's about what Arby's is too. Library is really just really fast. Ooh, uploads faster though. Yeah, I don't know. Probably shouldn't be making a video right now because I'm just really blah and daydreamy and kind of forced myself to get out to Holiday to edit videos and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Thought maybe I'd have something more to say. That's why I turned on the camera, but that's what I got to do. Turn on the camera and just go with it, because sometimes some really good stuff comes out. Even when I'm in a funky mood like this, sometimes I get on some really good subjects. And I must be having a high school game or something like that. And one of the kids in the car had their face all painted up like a tiger or a lion or something. I don't know. Got a lot on my mind. I go in waves. I'm amazed I've stayed as positive as I've been through the year with all the challenges. But being negative don't make anything any better. But sometimes you just can't help but be human. Sometimes that stuff just starts burning you out, and you just feel blah. Anytime now, Lord. Haven't lost my faith, never will. In your existence, anyway. I don't know about how soon stuff will start happening. I wish it would already happened. There's a little robin just landed over there. Jabbing around looking for worms or something. Seen a neat video the other day about how different birds all communicate with each other. So it isn't just, blue jays communicating with blue jays or crows with crows. They all interact, and they do different calls to communicate with each other. Like a chickadee, they'll, like if it was, they might just do their normal little chickadee sound, which is like a chickadee dee dee, or whatever. But if there's say like a big hawk or eagle predator in the area that would be a bigger bird that might get him and eat him or something, then the chickadee might go chickadee dee 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 dee, like 10 times or something like that. And then all the other birds know that the chickadee is saying there's an air predator in the area, and all the other birds will react and take cover the proper way, because that was a call that it's an air predator. Now, if it was a ground predator, like a cat or something like that, then it might go chickadee dee 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 like 5 times or something like that. I'm just giving examples, but they have different calls, and the other birds know it too. Now, like the blue jays, I guess they do more of like a couple different type of screaming calls or whatever, but then the other birds know what they're saying too. So they've all learned off each other, and that was just really neat seeing the study about that. So even all the different species of birds are communicating with each other. They're actually breaking it down into not so much as an actual language yet, but they're getting it documented, showing that each bird's different calls. They've got it figured out that it has to deal with predators, or if it's safer, if it was a human that they know they can trust that feeds the birds, then they have a gentler chirp, and it's not as rapid and stuff. So for different ones. And cardinals, I forget what it was with the cardinals too. The cardinals, oh yeah, that's what it was. The cardinals, the female cardinal, because the cardinals got that whatever, and I guess the female cardinal, according to her call and the different tones or the way speed she does it or whatever, she's signaling to the male cardinal to get more food and bring it back to the nest for the babies or whatever. And if it's more urgent, like she needs it faster, she'll do it more aggressively. And if she's not as much in a hurry, she'll tell him in a slower pace or something like that. Yeah, it was really neat. It was neat seeing all the different species of birds and what the different communications mean and stuff. And then I watched a video on jumping spiders. And some people have them as pets, and they actually really think and stuff, and apparently they have feelings and stuff too, because they end up liking their, I wonder, is that blackbird or crow? I couldn't tell. I talk to the crows sometimes with the cawing at them or whatever. So I've seen a really cool study years ago on crows and how smart they are. Funny, nature's got its own way of communicating. We got all into this industrial age and technology and stuff. Now back probably in the cowboy days, or even before that or something, people were probably more in touch with nature, and they probably knew more, whether birds were making different calls, or cougars or wolves were howling or barking or growling differently and stuff, or that they probably knew different with the animals, different stuff meant. It's just like if there's a storm coming, you'll notice the difference in the animals, whether it's the birds or four-legged animals that run around. I used to have a cat named Trouble, and she must have sensed the pressure change, because when a storm was coming, she might run around and like where she liked getting up higher on stuff, so she might run around at higher levels around the house on different stuff, whether it was her cat house or ripping across the back of the couch or something. And but when a storm was coming, she'd get down on the floor. She'd jump down on the floor and stay down lower. And then if it was really going to be a really bad storm, she'd crouch down. And then the worst the storm was, like one time, she jumped down, and my buddy Tim was living with me for a while, and Trouble jumped down on the floor, and she's always a fun cat and loving and all that stuff. Well, now she jumped down the floor, and she was just kind of like freaked out, and she started creeping across the floor really slow with her belly low to the ground. And he looked at her, and he looked at me, he says, "What's the matter with her?" And I didn't notice she did until he said, "What's the matter with her?" And I looked down at her and seen her doing that crawl. I said, "Ooh, we got a big storm coming." And he kind of laughed because he thought I was just messing around. And I said, "No, I'm serious. That cat can tell you the weather, and that's what she's telling us right now. There's a big storm coming." And we did that day too. The storm was so big. That's one of the times we lost power for days. And I talked about it in one of my other videos, a couple videos back, about how I'd freeze stuff in the freezer, And because I had so much bottled water frozen in the freezer, and then I'd rotate that down to the fridge and then put other water in the freezer and to get it froze. So I'd have ice in the fridge, bottled water, and stacked up just to, the more I could fill the fridge and freezer with frozen stuff, the less the fridge would run, so my bill would be less, you know, wouldn't be running the fridge as much. Although, you had to kind of be careful because then your food would start freezing. I got 2 flies mating on my windshield here. They're stuck on top of each other. But, so anyway, yeah, when I said we got a big storm coming, because I could tell she was really freaked out. The more freaked out she was, the bigger the storm was coming, you know. And I could just tell by the look on my cat's face and the way she was belly crawling on the ground that there was a big one coming. And it was, and we had trees come down and took the power out for several days or whatever. And that was when my buddy Tim he liked drinking Pepsi. And even though we didn't have power for days, it was a few days later that he could still put a can of Pepsi in the freezer. And he had to watch it, because if he left it in there for more than 20 minutes, it would start slushing up. And he says, I can't believe it, man. He says, I take it out in about 20 minutes and it's already getting slushy. And he says, and we haven't had power, you know. I said, yeah, I know. I guess it kind of pays off to keep frozen stuff in there, you know. And then sometimes, like after I'd go grocery shopping, well, then I'd end up with extra frozen bottled water or something sitting out on the counter, or have to throw it in a cooler or something, because, you know, then you got to make room for new food, you know. So, but once I got food in there, then I'd try to fill any extra space with frozen bottles of ice or whatever. And yeah, it really helped out, especially when the power went out. It was awesome. Otherwise, we would have had food go bad and everything, but because I had all that ice stuff in there, yeah, food didn't go bad. We could still chill, warm pop quick. So, all right, I'm bouncing around on subjects again. I should probably bring this to an end. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Talk to God. Tell him Darren says hi. And we'll see you on the next one.